Why do some people build real wealth while others, earning the exact same amount of money, seem to just stay broke? It's a question that goes way, way beyond the number on your paycheck. So let's just start right there with that core question. I want you to imagine two people, okay? Let's call them Graham and Humphrey. They both earn a solid $75,000 a year. Now let's fast forward a decade. Humphrey is doing great. He's financially thriving. Graham? Still stuck. So how is that even possible? Well, the answer is all in the habits, the decisions, and frankly, the mindsets that separate them. Now, you might think a big income is your golden ticket to financial security, right? But, the data tells a totally different story. A 2024 study found that a staggering, and I mean staggering, 48% of people earning over $100,000 a year are living paycheck to paycheck. And get this, even for folks making over 200 grand, more than a third are in the exact same boat. So clearly, income alone is not the answer. So here's how we're going to break this all down today. We're going to deconstruct this income myth. Then we'll look at 3 big mistakes to avoid and 3 powerful habits to build. After that, we'll dive into the psychology of money, and we're going to finish up with a simple 4-step blueprint to get you started. All right, first up, the great income myth. See, your income is what you make, but your wealth, well, wealth is what you keep. So let's dig into why your salary is really only half the story by looking at the 3 mistakes that keep people like our friend Graham totally trapped. Okay, the first and by far the most common trap is something called lifestyle inflation. Honestly, it's like running on a financial treadmill. Every single time you get a raise, your spending immediately jumps up to match it. You feel that pressure to look successful, a bigger apartment, a newer car, and poof, that extra income just vanishes before it ever gets a chance to go to work for you. The classic book, The Millionaire Next Door, uses this brilliant sports analogy. Your income, that's your offense. It's how you score points. But your spending habits, that's your defense. And any coach on earth will tell you defense wins championships. You can have a world-class offense, but it means absolutely nothing if your defense is weak. So when that raise comes along, you're at a fork in the road. Graham, he's the spender. He uses it to inflate his lifestyle. But Humphrey, he's the builder. He keeps his lifestyle exactly the same and inflates his investments instead. And that one single decision, when you repeat it over and over, is what creates 2 totally different financial futures. The second huge mistake is getting weighed down by high-interest consumer debt. We're talking about credit cards with those crazy 20+% interest rates, or car loans on things that are guaranteed to lose value over time. This kind of debt doesn't just slow you down, it is actively working against you 24/7. So let's check back in with Graham and Humphrey. Graham's got about $5,000 in credit card debt, so to pay it off in a year, he's got to throw $500 a month at that 20% interest rate. Meanwhile, Humphrey, he has no debt, so he takes that same $500 a month and invests it, earning the stock market's historical average of about 8%. And this right here, this is the massive opportunity cost of being in debt. The $6,000 that Humphrey invested in just 1 year, while Graham was just trying to get back to zero, could grow to over $60,000 in 30 years. See, debt doesn't just cost you the interest, it costs you your entire future growth. And the last common mistake is simply flying blind, having absolutely no idea where your money is actually going. When you don't track it, it is so easy to just spend it on little things. You might think that $5 coffee every day is no big deal, but that adds up to over $100 a month that could have been invested and growing for you instead. And what's really fascinating is the actual science behind why we spend. An MIT study found that when you pay with a credit card, it activates the reward centers in our brain. It totally removes the pain of paying that you feel when you hand over physical cash. So yeah, we are scientifically wired to overspend when we swipe a card, which makes tracking your money even more important. Okay, enough about the mistakes. Let's talk about the winning formula. We're going to cover 3 powerful habits that help you build wealth no matter what your income is. This is how Humphrey gets ahead. The single most powerful wealth-building habit you can ever have is to invest early and consistently. Your secret weapon isn't some hot stock tip, it's time. It's the absolute magic of compound interest. That's how ordinary incomes can build truly extraordinary wealth. This table right here shows you the pure magic of an early start. Humphrey invests just $2,400 a year for 10 years, from age 20 to 30, and then he stops. Graham, on the other hand, starts at 30 and invests the same amount for 35 years. Now, even though Graham invests over 3 times more money out of his own pocket, Humphrey ends up with a bigger nest egg. That 10-year head start, it makes all the difference in the world. Okay, habit number 2 is a super simple but really profound mental shift. Pay yourself first. See, most people get paid, they pay their bills, they spend on whatever they want, and then they see if there's anything left over to save. Wealth builders do the exact opposite. The very first bill they pay every single month is to their future self by automatically sending money straight to their investment accounts. And the third habit really just comes down to a simple question. What are you buying? Wealthy people make it a priority to buy assets, things that will grow in value or put money in their wallet over time, like stocks or real estate or maybe a business. Broke people tend to buy liabilities, things that drain money from their wallet, like that brand new car on a loan that starts losing value the second you drive it off the lot. So we've covered the actions, but now we gotta talk about the inner game. Because how you think about money dictates how you act with it. Let's take a quick look at the psychology of wealth. A scarcity mindset is basically rooted in the fear that there's never enough money. It's that little voice telling Graham he needs that new car just to feel secure, which leads him straight into debt. It's the fear that makes him hoard cash instead of investing it. But an abundance mindset, Humphrey's mindset, sees money as a tool. It's a belief that more can always be created, which allows you to take calculated risks and focus on long-term growth. And that right there fuels the very habits that build wealth. So how do you actually put all this into practice? Okay, here it is. A simple 4-step blueprint to get you on the right path starting today. Here is your 4-step foundation. First, you have to make a plan. Just start with a simple budget so you can actually see where your money is going. Second, eliminate that high-interest consumer debt. Third, invest with purpose and do it consistently. And finally, the golden rule of everything. Live on less than you make. That gap between earning and spending, that's where wealth is born. When it comes right down to it, the journey from broke to rich has way less to do with the size of your salary and everything to do with mastering yourself, your habits, your psychology, and your behavior. It's not about how much you earn, it's about what you do with it. So the only question that really matters is, what are you going to change first?